Yo, what up? It's James Rico at Rico Did It, also at Real Goat, so go follow him. And I'm here today in Kolkata, Bangladesh, to give you a lighting lesson. I'm so excited to bring you the first edition of Lighting Tutorials with James Rico. Some of the things that I want to do is just share with you my experiences and knowledge of lighting, because some people have requested it, and I just want to take you through some of the setups that I'm doing. The overall idea is to be simplistic and effective and efficient with lighting. So, no more words. Let me just send it on over to Sebastian. He'll take you through the set of the day. What up, Sebastian? Take it over. Yo, James, thanks for that toss over. I appreciate it. Sebastian here with some buffalo. Fuck, there's buffalo behind me. Okay, today we got some lighting tips going on. We got to do a night for day, which means here in a couple hours, the lights will be gone from the natural light, and we will have to recreate the day. So, to start off, we need a base. We need a fucking base. Alright, so our base right now is a 1.2 par, which is very punchy. Now, it's up to you and your choice. We want to go for a softer light that goes through this window and hits him in there on that table. Not this table, but the next. So, what we're going to do is place this diffusion sheet, which they call Bangla here, right here, about 8-9 feet away. That's our first move. Then our second move will be, it's a 2K light that we wrapped with full CTB, turning it to daylight temperature. And then we're going to add a little bit of leaves to cut it up, and it's going to hit these tin cans here to create a little bit of pattern. So like, it's not just an even wall. You know, we could just shine a light on it just to bring up exposure, but we want to make a pattern. And you have to understand that when whatever you want to see, you have to light. So we want to see back the side. He will be sitting here, and the camera will be facing this way. So we're going to see this wall in the shot. We're going to see this wall here in the shot. Now, let me take you over here and show you some stuff. So, we have a big 20 by 20 scrimmer. It's called a scrimmer here, but it's really diffusion frame, diffusion silk that's on the wall. This texture of this house, you could see, opens up, right? So, we have a 6K and a 4K HMI. We don't have an 18K, otherwise we just use an 18K. So we're using a 6K and a 4K HMI. It's not par, just an HMI. It's an older version of daylight lighting. It's not quite as intense as a par. Pars are almost double, to not 2.5 times harder, and packed a huge punch. So, what we're doing with that is, as you can see, these little specular lights right now. During the day, without the diffusion sheet, you would normally see this. But at night, obviously, there's no light out there, and we just can't blast light against this, because otherwise it's going to look like a bunch of black holes and light seeping through, and it's going to look fake. So to soften it out, we put the diffusion sheet, the 20 by 20, all around the house, which then allows it just to have like glowing speculars. And then finally, our fill light. Again, the character is sitting right here on the stool. The window is facing right in front, and we're basically recreating what's happening now. You know, so everything you see, we're recreating once it's night. Last thing that's going to happen, since we have all this light coming from one direction, his front and the left, then we need to fill in his skin from behind. So we just have a 575 HMI on what they call a cork sheet, but it's just a beadboard up in the ceiling. So we just jammed it up in there, just gave it a nice jam, and it's gonna hit me right here. And I measured it to be about a stop and a half down, and we're gonna adjust it according to what the DP wants. But we're balancing ratios to create contrast, and we're balancing ratios meaning you know, what this is reading at, and know, what the f-stop is reading here versus the background versus this pole here versus like the light on my neck, all over. So I try to make measurements with my light meter to kind of figure out, you know, what things are looking like. Right now it's hard to tell what the light is actually doing because there is natural light already coming in. So once it's actually dark, I'll need to remeasure the light real quick so you kind of get an idea what this is doing while I'm changing. This is a Sekonic L478DRU. I like it, but at the same time, what's annoying is, what I'm gonna do right now, is you gotta take off the spot meter if you just want to do an incident meter reading. You can see how long it's taking me. And I always fuck this up. And now it's on. So I got the incident meter reading. Some people like spot meter. I like to use them both. So there are ones out there that have it attached, but this particular model, I just needed a light meter and I got it, and I don't know. I'll probably sell it and get a new one. So I'm gonna take a reading on the wall. It's a 0.709, which means it's almost an f1. That's what the shadows are doing in the house naturally. So I'll take another one over here on this wall. It's 0.51. So I know that on the camera side of it, I just need to get it to something close to that. If she wants a lot of light on the wall, then I'll bring it up to that, like a larger f-stop. But for the most part, what I've found is that I'm lighting my shadows between a 0.7 and a 1. I don't try to go over that because you don't really want to see too much in your shadows. I'll even go lower at times, depending on like what my key light is, which is this. But the light meter, in my opinion, if you're interested in lighting, is the first thing you should get and learn how to use properly, and it will help you dramatically in your lighting skills. So that's it, number one, get a fucking light meter. And it could be a cheap one, it could be an app. A lot of apps nowadays are really good, and you can start practicing the use of a light meter. And all it is just trying to help you when you can't see the camera, you don't see the frame, and you just need a balanced light before the DP comes and gets here and says, yo, let me see the lighting. And I turn it on and it's all over the place. So at least I have it close. And then all of a sudden when she comes in, she says I want more or less in certain areas, and I adjust accordingly. I try to get it close to what I would like, but not always my taste is what another person likes. And so I prefer things that look more natural, but some people want to make them just look pretty. You know, and they want it to make it look well exposed. So it's just the taste. Again, I love shadows. I love seeing rich, dark shadows, even losing information in some areas, like the deep corners. But a lot of people want to see all information and want to see all detail. And then in the highlights, meaning, you know, I don't really have a highlight right now. It's just kind of even. But my face, I guess, would be the highlight. There's a highlight right there. A lot of times you don't want to blow those out, so you have to adjust them and make sure you can see detail. So if they do want to see detail outside, then you have to punch a ton of light onto the subject or your background to get it balanced. I mean, a shitload. I'm talking 18Ks and maybe multiple 18Ks just to see inside. And then you have to obviously then adjust, cut, diffuse, soften, bounce, all sorts of things to get it to where it looks good, make patterns and stuff like that. And as always, I didn't mention that you got to have a great team behind you, and leading my Bentley team is my good friend Saddam.
Hi, I'm Saddam. I'm your local gaffer, and he's my boss, James.
I try to be.
Yeah.
I try to be the boss. He's really the boss. Anyways, James, back to you. Sebastian out. Woo! Whoa, Sebastian, that was incredible. Thanks for showing us around. Guys, that was the end of the walkthrough from Sebastian. We appreciate his talents. Hope you guys had fun learning. If you didn't learn, then I'm sorry, I suck at teaching then. Actually, it's your fault. I'm gonna blame the student. If you haven't already, go subscribe to Real Goats at YouTube, and then follow Real Goats on IG. If you're not following me already on IG, well then you suck. So go ahead and do that too. If you learned something, please let me know what you learned. Also, if you need some more information, comment below. Until next time, stay sexual with your lighting. It's always about simplicity, and it's about training your eye. So, go out there, start practicing. Alright, Real Goats, James Rico, out.